Nigel, Kelvyn, dad and lad.
Hey, bloody hell. Yeah. Is this
It's
the
a
first?
first.
Is this the first?
I think it might be,
Bloody hell, that.
I just said to you before, 73, you not think you're trying to have a rest and retire?
74 now. No, why not? I mean, long time dead, so do as much as you can, really. Crack on.
You didn't go over this weekend, over to Dublin, did you not?
I didn't know.
I
didn't get invited. I didn't get no free tickets, and I won't pay. Them amateurs, yeah. No, I thought it was great. I thought she did a great job.
And we've just heard because the amateurs had just finished when I arrived,
yeah.
And because the gym, the heating's gone out, the VIP gym, hasn't it? So we're all just putting the final touches on to another big weekend for you, because it was a huge. It was a huge weekend over in Ireland, wasn't it? Where I know to you two and the rest of the team, it wasn't a big upset, but to the rest of the world, it was.
Yeah, certainly. I think some of our team had a few quid on the bookies, which is always good to happen, and doesn't happen very often. But yeah, it was a phenomenal, as good as it's ever been. I think I'd go as far as to say.
It's got to be one of the biggest British fighters win overseas. Because in female boxing, there's no bigger fight than that one.
No, there wasn't, and she's done magnificently, and obviously we know the potential of what she could do, and you're always gonna worry about getting out off, as it's happened previously, but you worry that the Irish noise that they made, which is something that I've never experienced in my life.
Was it a good atmosphere?
Yeah, I've been involved in the game a long time, obviously my dad longer, but I've been involved in the sport since being a baby, since I could walk. We were always in boxing clubs and boxing arenas, and that's where I've been my social. So I've been in a lot of massive events, but nothing on that scale. It was phenomenal, and not when we walked. Obviously, we got quite a hostile welcome from them. But I tell you what, when she came out, the noise was deafening, genuinely deafening. And myself and Jamie just kept whispering to Chantelle, and this is all about you, not her. So and that's what we've had since the start, and I believe that she set the tone for the fight.
Were you a little bit nervous when it was announced as a split decision though?
If I'm completely honest, I wasn't, because I thought she's definitely won it. I was nervous. I wasn't nervous about Jack's contest when they went to the.
But that's what I mean, because that went the opposite way, way that everyone else in the auditorium seen it.
Yeah.
But it went the other way, and we, from what I've heard, I've not seen the fight. I was working on the night. I was filming an amateur show. And from what I've heard from everyone, it was a very comfortable win for her.
Yeah, well, the difference was that I felt as confident in Jack as I did in Chantelle when the decision. So when Jack had finished for that first 6-7 minutes to the decision, he was world champion in my eyes, and the first time I felt nerves, or the first time I thought we're going to get jobbed here, was when the first card came out, which was Howard Foster's 115-113, and he said for Catterall, and I thought, are you kidding me? And at that point I thought, we're going to get jobbed here, and we did. Chantelle's, the first card, was a draw, and I thought the only person that any rational judges could have given the win to was Chantelle. If the first card would have been to Chantelle or to Taylor, if they'd have said it was a split decision, so it was a split decision, but it was a draw.
Yeah.
So when they announced split
the draw first, then you felt the other two.
Then you got two of the same card.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the only person who's won this contest is Chantelle Cameron, and I thought it was a comfortable 7-3. Maybe 8-2. I accept 6-4 because that's the win. And I didn't feel I'd get jobbed. And they weren't British judges, they weren't English judges, they weren't Irish judges, they were
Very
Canadian,
neutral.
American, but so
I thought that was a problem.
yeah.
I thought that was a problem when I saw the judges, when I heard the judges. Watching it from on the telly from home, I thought it was a great fight. I thought it was. You don't have to be a purist to purely appreciate what went on, but there was some real good stuff on. I thought Chantelle was way above where I thought she could do with that jab, especially the jab. It really impressed me. But I thought it was a real good fight, and you know, I had it a bit closer than maybe Nigel, because I was watching it on telly. Maybe you don't quite see all the bits and bobs or the emotion or whatever. But I thought it was a really good contest. And when I heard the judges, I thought, you know.
Yeah, well,
that's what I thought.
I got home and looked at the the results, because the show had finished when I get in. I was very happy for JJ Metcalf as well, top kid, and picking up the IBO world title against Dennis Hogan, my namesake. But I was suffering like him.
And that was a decent fight as well. Obviously, you know, and Cully got, there was an upset to Cully, and that was a big upset. But the card was good.
Yeah, the card seemed good.
Really good. Yeah,
on the telly.
Well, going off subject, because we're going to talk about this weekend, because the lads who've been in here today are fighting this weekend, Aqib and Jack Catterall. But I just want to just go back, because very rarely do we get you two together. Kelvyn, did you bring him up in the gym? Did he? Because you used to be boxing yourself. You boxed for England, you know. You were a top amateur boxer, as well as Nigel. You were a top amateur boxer and had a few pro fights. But was that your nursery, a boxing gym?
Not really. I won't let him go until he'd gone into the big school. And that was my thing. Even though he was around it, and his elder brother started at 11, because you can't box until you're 11 in those days. A bit 10 now, but I won't let him go. But he was always trying a bit of everything, really. Bit of boxing, bit of kung fu or whatever. And he wanted the t-shirt. He wanted the t-shirt. That's what he. And he didn't have the concentration to stick at much, really. And but his mum would always buy him the t-shirt. That's, you know, because he has to have it, and he has to have the gear. But no, he wanted
basically,
to go.
he means all the gear and no idea. That's
Maybe, yeah. So he started at Gallagher Boys Club, which was a chap who used to a club named after the guy who used to coach me, and the lads up there did a good job with the club. But Nigel was always, you know, get stuck in type of guy, and I think he had a few second prizes up there. And then both of them moved to Hardwick lads, and that's where they learned the craft, really. And it was a good foundation, really. The club, you know.
So you never actually coached them then?
Not
you
a
left
lot,
it to other people.
You know, obviously, you know, there was coaching and going on a little bit, but I didn't want to coach them, really, because
No.
you know, the fathers, you know, I was a bit cold with it all, because I didn't want to spoil it for them. You know, let them do it. If they didn't want to do it, then I didn't push them that much. Obviously, they're in the wake of what I was doing and stuff. But he followed in his brother's wake, who was a good southpaw. We were both similar personalities than my other son, and he was the smarter of the three of us, and we were the tough guys.
The better looking one.
We were the tough guys. He didn't reign long. He didn't stick it out. So I think they learned the craft a little bit. On the road at Hardwick, and then Nigel, they both left town and went working abroad, and Nigel went to London and was brought up as a senior in London with Fitzroy Lodge, really, Mick Carney.
How many fights did your amateur career entail?
About 130.
So similar to your lad then, because you had 123, was it? Right.
107.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It's what they did in them days. Box every night of the week. You know, it was the rules of the game. You could box anywhere. But no, he's done his own. He's proud of his own field, really. Although he used to come home whenever he came home, he wanted to go on the pads. So he'd come home from London and he was always in and out, up the pub or whatever he was going, I don't know. But he wanted to train, and then we always ended up sort of falling out and him laughing at me, and he won't listen, You know, I was overcoaching him and that kind of stuff.
You know what's weird
So-
though? Obviously I film a lot of the amateur shows, and obviously Nigel in the corner a lot. I see you in the corner a lot,
Yeah.
and you're absolute mirror images of one another. The way
I'm better looking than him.
but you know the way you coach and the way you
understand,
bring it
yeah.
out of your students. It's funny to watch.
You're not the only person to say that to me, and I'm thinking, is that right?
No,
It don't
but-
matter. You know, I mean, I think it's totally different to me. We fight like cat and dog, really. He has the
Cock and dog.
cat and dog. Did I say cock and dog?
Cock and dog.
Cat and dog, I said. And so yeah, we disagree about most things, but that's okay. He's his own man now, and he's doing his own stuff, and I respect him. I'm quite proud of him.
But you've helped out here for many a year, haven't you?
For since it began, and I helped out usually on a Sundays. Started with Sundays, just doing a Sunday with the kids, a small group of Connor Tusberries and stuff like that. But then I was busy with the GB stuff, and then when I left GB, then I came straight here, and you know, a fixture, can't get rid of me type of thing.
How long has it been going now? 15 years, did you say? This
14,
place?
is it?
15.
15, is it now?
15 years.
15 years, yeah. So 15 years.
Christ, it's gone quick, but
And you were saying you believe this has saved more lives than any lives that you saved as a firefighter.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cliche then, and I've said it a few times, but it's the God's honest truth. You know, being an operational firefighter, you see it. When you make a difference, you see it immediately. It's quite, you know.
But I seen the bond with both of you, with the lads that are here. I mean, I call it the tail end of the class, and it's so pleasing because you're like a second father, both of you, to all the lads that are in here.
I think you're right, and you see it, and you go around enough to view a lot of them, and there's clubs up and down the country doing the same thing,
Yeah.
really, and they deserve support of the community because they're doing the community a service, that's for sure. But we're just wrapped up in boxing, and we're wrapped up in kids. You know, we don't think about the saving of their lives as much as just helping them out, really. And he's right, he has saved a few lives, and you know, the sport does that for you.
A few cats as well, eh, mate?
Yeah.
Apparently so.
Well, good. Right, let's go back to not go back to what originally came down here for, because I was just catching up with Aqib and Jack Catterall putting the final touches to a big night for him, because even though I think this makes this fight more dangerous for Jack than perhaps some of his other fights, because he's got everything to lose and not a lot to gain, because most people believe he's going to beat the Australian Irishman.
Yeah, Dara Foley. He's just had his career best win, obviously being Robbie Davies Jr. Was winning the fight because he'd knocked him over, so he was round up anyway, and then a freak accident. But you'd have expected Robbie Davies Jr.
To win that fight.
to win that fight, I would say, and I think most people would agree with that. And Jack Catterall is one of, if not the best, super lightweight there is in the world, and he's a dangerous, hungry, ready fighter, and I can't wait. I think he does a job on him.
I know he never shows it. I know Jack is one of the calmest people that you'll ever meet, you know. But is he frustrated, and does he want to make a statement?
Yeah, but he has to. You know, listen, he's not fought for well over 12 months. You know, we all know
15 months is it by the time he
we all
steps
know
through the
what
ropes?
happened the last time he fought. Before that, it was another year. So he's fought like 3 or 4 times in that many years. It's just ridiculous. But listen, it is what it is. We can moan, bitch, go on about it all day. This is now the second wind of Jack Catterall's career, so I expect him to go out and really do make a statement or perform to some of his ability, because I don't think that the country or the world has seen how good he can be. I think they got a glimpse of it in February last year, but the kid can do it, and I believe he will do it. And I believe that to start something exciting with Eddie Hearn now.
Yeah, I was going to say, because this is going to be his first fight under the promotional deal with Matchroom, isn't it?
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll get a few eyes. The great thing about this is they've just signed Progress, haven't they? Which is hopefully going to be his next opponent. He fights on the 17th. If he comes through that, Jack comes through
he
this.
just had a new opponent, just changed his opponent. But yeah, that's the logical fight. So it's dead easy to make.
Yeah.
And I believe that Eddie Hearn will make that happen, or make, Eddie Hearn will get in the fights that he needs. Eddie Hearn knows what he's doing. Eddie Hearn's changed the game for a reason. So.
And the other young lad who I don't think people have seen the best of him yet, young Aqib, looking sharp, mate.
Yeah. He's again a career best performance last time out in Abu Dhabi. And I don't mean that, just getting a stoppage. You know what I mean? The fact that how he could have gone through the gears and it was as good as he's been with us. But he's, as you rightly pointed out, he's got so much potential. He really has can turn it on. So hopefully the country get behind him and he starts doing it. And listen, he's
had a great education with yourselves though, because he was brought in 4 years ago to help prepare Carl Frampton for the Josh Warrington fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, I've known Aqib a long time. Aqib boxed, so Connor Tudsbury, they boxed when they were kids.
In the yard, yeah.
Wouldn't be able to do it now, would they?
No, they wouldn't. In the fire station yard, they had a contest, an open air tournament. We've got our show on the 17th of June, and it was similar time, summer show outside, sun beating down, and they were just babies. They were like 14, 13.
Anybody can come.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, it's for free.
So when's this? Am I coming down? Am I filming it?
You're filming it, 17th. I thought you knew that, Lee. Sorry.
No, I didn't. Do now, though.
17th of June is our open show. It's a free show. They're coming in and they watch the boxing.
It's a great atmosphere here, isn't it? There's all the food vendors here. Everyone has a great atmosphere, and like I say,
it's great. But Aqib and Connor fought on that. Aqib won. And so I've known Aqib a long time, known him a hell of a long time. And he asked about coming to us, and we were very, very busy at the time. And so there was talk of him not coming to us, but he came along to spar, and we got him in sparring, and he just turned it on like he can do. And Carl was mega impressed. We were mega impressed. Gave Carl some serious rounds, and that's what you want. So the kids wanting to learn.
He's a big sponge, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's absorbed so much from Carl when he worked with him for close on to 2 years, wasn't he? But also with Jack, the defensive skills he learned from Jack. He's pretty good at it now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He really is. And it's exciting, an exciting future for the kids. So. And family are just good people. His brother helps us out. He's a top kid.
That's Sam.
Atif comes down and trains with us.
That's his little brother. So he's a lot bigger than both of them.
But yeah, good family. Dad, we obviously know Dad tragically lost his mother recently, but we know the family, and it's phenomenal. It's a great asset to our gym, asset to our club.
Well, talking about assets to this gym, we mentioned one before, Connor Tewksbury, GB boxer now. And we've got another one, Pat Brown.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Big Pat.
Yeah, both on GB, both carrying injuries at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate.
Overuse injuries.
Yeah. Connor's just pulled his bicep off the bone, so he's had an operation today. Pat Brown's had a bad hand
injury, yeah.
So he had to pull out. The first final he was in 2 months ago, and then the last final he was in last month. He went in with one arm, and they were going to pull him out, but he had a go at it with one arm, and he got beat. But he'd already bashed the Ukrainian up in the previous tournament, who he boxed in the final. So I think that indicates what could have happened, but it doesn't matter.
Both still in line for the Europeans. If they don't get that, then they're in for the qualifiers next year. So that's a pecking order, really.
And brilliant for this gym, for those kids to be down here and to look up to. And when, you know, like the kids were in here, the pros were all just turning up. Must be great inspiration for any young fighter to see that, actually, I could do that.
That's exactly right, and that's why they come down here. You know, they come down here quite often, just to mix in, just about a mark of respect. You know, the kids love it, love seeing them, and we're very fortunate that we've got association with those people, and the kids can aspire to do it. And you know, Connor comes up, Pat comes up and does a little bit, but Ashley with the pros as well. So it's phenomenal, and the gym's buzzing.
It's brilliant though. Like, going back to both of you working in the corners, I love the satisfaction that you gain from some of your kids when they get the wins. You know, I remember watching you. It was in the it must have been in the championships, because it was at Tameside Elite, and one of your kids had underperformed in the first round and didn't really do too well, and you gave him a little bit of a telling off in the corner. I don't know quite what you said to him, but it was quite stern. And he went out there and he bossed the fight, turned it right round, and by the end of the fight he was in total control. And I've seen it with you all, but you get great satisfaction. But Kelvyn, I mean, you're the same, aren't you? I mean, it doesn't matter what level or where they are at, you both enjoy it just as much, don't you?
You can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on the satisfaction, that's for sure.
But I'm a little bit more impatient than my dad, I've got to admit, and I don't mind admitting it, but so it's easy coaching Pat Brown and Connor Tusbury and Jack Catterall and Aqib Fiaz. It's easy coaching them. What's very difficult is coaching kids who maybe will never box while they've got a hole in their ass, but the fact that you're going to give them time is a blessing.
But this place does, doesn't it?
We do, and my dad does more than anybody, and I see him with people maybe who have been here for years we do have some time wasters, because it happens, because everyone loves the gym. You know, maybe I was one of those kids that's been able to try and indicate when I was a kid, have the t-shirt, loved hanging around the gym, maybe didn't want to do it, but some of the kids just like being in the gym, and he spends hours and hours, and it's wonderful.
Pay the subs, you know, treat them all the same. You know, those who commit, you get a bit more extra. Maybe.
As long as they give you 100%, that's all you care about.
Exactly that. And it's, you know, it's a tried and tested thing in amateur gyms. I think we're not a million miles different from other amateur gyms.
No, I must admit, but we're
very fortunate. We have the fire service supporting us still as best they can, and we're about to sort of. We need a few $100,000 if anybody's out there to go up. We've put the things in motion, and we've got extension up next door. But we've still got to go up and get more space for the kids. So that's the plan. But we're fortunate that we have the fire service still supporting us, the chief.
Yeah, Dave Russell, but the whole of the fire service supports us as a club because we're on a fire station, and that's why.
Because this is an actual fire station. It's active, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But they also know, and they see when the kids are in here and the firefighters come over and the chiefs come. They see the kids from this deprived area, see them change their lives around, and that's worth any investment that happens to the gym, because it stops those kids dying, turn into crime, turn into this, turn into that.
On June the 17th, you know what I love about when I come here and I'll be filming, it's all the old boys turn up, all the kids that used to box here. Bring their families. You know, when you talk about real family fair, it really is a family fair. And then not only that, you've got all the pros from the VIP gym that turn up here as well. And it's just a fantastic day out, especially if the sun shines.
Sure. Yeah, that's also what it needs. That, yeah, it's all good. So come down 17th and we can have a good day.
All right. See you. Thank you very much, lads. And first time on camera, so hopefully it won't be the last.
Probably.
See you on.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.